right, guys, welcome to this amazing video that is going to change the way you go about your daily trading. So I'm here to discuss to you the anatomy of day trading, and I'm going to be using GBP/JPY as a case study so that we can see how day traders think. Day traders like me, you can see our thought process in the market and how we go about trading every single day or almost every single day. So for you to be effectively good or triumph with day trading, you must have this key knowledge or key idea that I've listed out here. You must be familiar with structure. Of course, structure is when market, the general buyers of the markets. We have uptrend market structure, downtrend. For uptrend market structure, we can see it right here when price is forming higher highs and higher lows. And one of the major characteristics of an uptrend market structure is that the low sustains the trend. So that means price should actually not go below this low. If this low has created a new high, price should not go below this low. And of course, when price is trending upward for an upward trend, all the highs are what they are weak zones that you want to sell from because they are external liquidity. You want to be very careful with that. And of course, when price is trending downward, the high sustains the trend. So that simply means that trade should not go above the previous high. The high sustains the trend. And of course, when price is trending downward, you want to be careful not to buy from the lows because the lows are weak lows. They contain external liquidity. So you want to take note of the concept of liquidity. Of course, liquidity is what validates a zone most times, except it to have order flow being intact. And something else I need to know is that you need to know about London zones and London mitigations. Always take note of zones formed during the London session, which is between 7, 8, 9. Zones formed around there are very important. And at the same time, London mitigation happens between that time too, between 7, 8, 9, the London mitigation and London volume. And you want to take note of New York zones and New York mitigations. Zones that are formed during New York are very important, and you want to ensure that you utilize them. And also New York mitigation and New York volume, you want to know about those ones too when price. New York mitigation is a mitigation that happens during New York session. So you should be able to always find entries during London session and at the same time during New York session. Then also take note of Asian ranges, which could serve as most times serves as liquidity zones, Asian highs and Asian lows. And of course, you want to know about order flow. Of course, when price is trending in a particular direction, order flow keeps the trend going. Then of course, flip zones, you also want to take note about flip zones. Once a major structural point is taken out, you want to check first the immediate supply or demand that took out that zone. For example, we have a demand right here and price took out this demand. So the flip zone for this demand to be put off, it simply means that the supply turned it off. That means the supply is turned on. So you want to trade from that area first before price even retraces back to either premium when you are selling or discount when you are buying. It's another form of flip zone that you can have. The last supply before a demand was taken out, a major demand was taken out, or the last demand before a major supply was taken out. Those are the flip zone. Then of course, please understand timing very well. 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. is when proper London mitigation occurs. So if you want to catch any London moves, ensure that you're on seats between 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. These are things that I've done times without number. And of course, that is when we also experience the London move, the London volume. So any trade you want to take around 10 to 12 are the area entries of what has started from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. The area entries of London move. Then also, if you want to catch New York move, ensure that you're on seats from 1 to 3 p.m. That is when you have New York mitigation and New York volume. You have New York movement. But any trading you do between 7 p.m. or 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on night is actually New York move re-entry, whatever move that has started in New York, the re-entries that you want to catch. And of course, Zones that are formed in Asia too, they are not to be 100% trusted, but once they form a perfect structure, they could actually be used. So let us go into the chart and see what I have for GBP, JPY, and I traded for a certain period of time. All right, guys, so this is my chart for GBP, JPY, and I want you to follow closely so that you can understand what is going on here. So from the general structure of the market, we can see that GBP, JPY is actually bullish, been forming a series of higher highs and higher lows. So price going up to this high, I told you that you should take note that once price is trending upward, you don't want to sell at the highs because they are weak highs, they are external liquidity. So price is already moving so strongly towards this high. I have it marked, but I don't intend to sell from there. I would want price to induce the liquidity of that high first before I now look for sell opportunity. And as a day trader, I just wait for price to carry out this manipulation. So I already have the high marked already. So let me just go to my 1 hour so that I can see. You can see price was strongly bullish. You just don't want to jump into the sell. So I was waiting to see if my eye will be taken out. Just follow me through. And we had this happen. Okay, price took out the high. Price took out the high. So of course, immediately this happened, I wanted to start looking if I could see any sell, because once price has grabbed major liquidity like that, what we want to see is what is a retracement. And so we had price grab this external liquidity. Very nice, very nice. We can see major lows have been taken out, which is what I like to see. Major lows have been taken out. So that simply means that we are in for a little down move. Major lows have been taken out here. Major liquidity have been taken out here. Major liquidity have been taken out. So I think we are ready for a good down move because liquidity has actually been induced. And so I waited for price to come to my premium. Waited for price to come to my premium. I spotted a very, very nice zone here. Very, very nice zone at the extreme. And that was where I was interested in selling this. So this is another block. This week here, the last push up before price expanded to the downside. So I was willing to take my trade from here. I was just waiting for price to retrace depth since I already know. So this move here is actually my intent. And wherever this move gets to, if I can get an entry from this point, of course, that will be my final target. All right. So let's see how price played out. Let me go to 15 minutes and let's see how price played out. Okay, so we had price started moving back to my area of interest, and of course I had there marked as my premium. So I had price moving back to my premium. So this was just around 14 pips, and of course, where was I targeting? I was targeting this low, definitely, which is 189 pips. So that was the low I was targeting. And I was quite sure that price would give me the mitigation that I wanted. So we had liquidity grabbed, external liquidity grabbed, and price gave an intent. So price is back at premium, getting a sell here. Of course, I want to target here. Very nice targets, just 14 to 15 pips for a 189 pips. So let's see what happened. And it was a perfect mitigation. It was a perfect mitigation, and of course, price traded down. And of course, price traded down. Now, with respect to the flip zone that I was talking about, or that I talked about, this this low right here, was taken out. This low right here was taken out. So the last supply that we had before this low was taken out should actually be a place you want to even risk a sell first. Very nice area. Very nice area. So, excuse me, let me take water. All right. So this was the last supply before price took out this low, and we had liquidity stored right there, right before that supply. We had liquidity, and of course, all the areas above that liquidity is a zone for me to sell because we have a fair value gap here and another block, which some people can call other block with imbalance. So this was a very nice zone that I wanted to actually sell, and price had a very clean mitigation there. So and let me quickly explain something. This is my Asian range indicator. Whenever you see these blue areas, they represent Asian range, Asian session. This green area represents London, and after the green area represent New York. So you can see this is a London base, right? When was this base formed? This base was formed at 720, and I told you take note of bases that are formed during London. So this was a London base that took out a low, so we want to sell from here. And of course, for this trade, my target was just this low. As a day trader, my target was just this low, which is about 55 pips. And let's see what price did. Of course, in no time, price hit my target right there. So that is my second trade. So price hit my target right there. And of course, we also want to have the higher time frame in view. Now, from this move that I have, going down, let me check my 4-hour. So I can know a potential zone that I am targeting. Got any potential zone I'm targeting? Okay. I'm looking at the daily. I think I've seen something nice. Look at the last high that we had here before an expansion. So I think I love this zone here. And there is liquidity before this zone. So I think I want to be interested in this. Let's check it out to see more clarification. Oh, perfect. I think I have a base there on the 8-hour. All right, so this is very nice. So let's go back to lower time frame to see if we can still catch some move. Of course, we had another major low right here. I'm interested in this low to see what price wants to do. And I'm also interested in this low because this low took out liquidity, took out Asian. This is Asian range. This took out Asian range, then bought. You can see this base right here. So these are areas that are capable of reversing price. So of course, around this area, I'm taking major partials, and you can still leave the rest to run as well. So major structural points that are capable of reversing the market are where I first take some partials and see what wants to happen. So let's go back to 15 minutes and play. So you can see I have this low and this low here. I want to see the reaction that price will give me from there. And having it in mind that I'm targeting much lower. So as a day trader, right, this happened. This low and this low was taken out. These are good lows that could have actually caused a reversal in the market, right? These are nice lows that could have caused reversal in the market. Now, what happened? And what was the last supply before those lows were taken out? The last supply for those lows were taken out is actually this that we have right here. And when was this formed? This was formed around 1:30 in the afternoon, which is New York base. So I have this as my mitigation area where I'm willing to actually risk a sell, right? I'm willing to risk a sell here, definitely. So this is a flip zone. This is a flip zone. This is a flip zone, and price had this last supply before these demands were switched off. So I'm interested in what in selling there. And let me just target this base. This is a very good base to want to target. And this base was formed around New York, so it's a very good base to target. So I would want to definitely risk a trade here. And okay, mitigation happened and price got to my target. Price got to my target, right? This is very nice. Very nice. And of course, we are still very bearish. And price keeps going down and down and down and down. So, of course, as a day trader as well, I would definitely want to look out for this base, because this base was formed during London session. So I might actually want to take an entry here as a day trader. So this was the last supply that broke this demand. Of course, price is actually still within the demand, so we could actually trade higher, but it's okay to lose sometimes. So I want to see what will happen around this base when price gets here. Of course, normally some of these trades, or most of all these trades, we have lower time frame confirmation, but I don't want to go into so much details. So this is an area where you might want to also like risk a sell and see what happens. So let's see. Of course, price didn't give us any entry there, and price kept going down. Price kept going. All right. So there was actually no entry here. And price gave us a very nice reaction from this area, even though we are still very much bearish, targeting this liquidity here. So I want to be careful with any buys I want to engage myself in, because I have a major liquidity that needs to be grabbed here. But once price mitigates this zone here and price gives me any good entry, of course, I might be actually interested in selling. So let's see price narrative on another day. This is my my Asian range. And of course, though liquidity is resting, the Asian low is more like liquidity. But at the same time, I'm still very bearish. So I want to be careful about this buy. But let's see what price would do as we have London open here. So, all right. Of course, price broke that low, which I said initially that I'm purely in a downtrend. So I want to be careful about the buys that I will catch now. So whatever buy I want to catch must give me a good intent. So we can see we missed out on a sell here, which is actually not our fault. We're just following our thought process on how price should go. So price is close to our demand right now, or for our demand. So, and let's see what price would do that demand. Okay, let me go to 1 hour so that we can fast forward price and see what happened. So I was very much interested in this liquidity before I want to start to look at any buys. And of course, price tapped into the demand, which would have been so big a stop loss for me, but price tapped into the demand, and I wanted to see price reaction to know if we would see trade opportunities. So you can remember we've taken 3 trades, 1, 2, 3. We missed out on this because price didn't come to mitigate, and now price has mitigated our higher time frame demand, our 8-hour demand. And of course, we now want to start spotting for zones that price could actually use to continue buys. So coming down to my lower time frame, I have some pretty nice zones that I want to see what price would do. All right, so this is actually London base. This is London base. And I want price to give me very good intent to actually take out some of these highs so that I can see if I can spot a trade opportunity. But you can see that right from this day down to this day, we've not seen a very clear chance on GBP JPY. So we just keep watching. So let me see price narrative and see what next I want to do. But of course, okay, I said I have some zones marked. I have this zone marked, and I have this zone marked to see what price will do when price gets there, for me to actually spot for an entry. And let's see. Price actually didn't get there. And of course, this served as liquidity for me to validate this zone right here. But I waited for price. Price didn't give me any strong entry. This was Asian range. I couldn't have risked a buy here with this very big rejection. So this was no trade for me. No trade. So price started retracing upward. Price started going upward. And of course, if you look at price from the higher time frame perspective, let me see my 4-hour. This is just a move to the downside, right? This is just a move to the downside, and price is returning back to premium. If you take your Fibonacci retracement and check it, let's see, from your swing low or swing high to your swing low, discover that this area is premium area. It's already above the 50% fib level, so it's already high enough to sell. And I want to look for sell opportunity. All right, so coming back to my lower time frame, I spotted a very nice area that price could actually respect around this my premium. Now let's come back to this area. Just before this expansion happened, after price mitigated this supply and then price distributed, just before price entered into Asian range and expanded to the downside, we had, of course, this is the high of the Asian range, and look at this base resting just above the Asian range, right? So price might just mitigate that high, or price might just mitigate the liquidity of the Asian range and sell, because this is the nicest spot I would want to sell here. This is very okay for me. Asian range, unmitigated area above Asian range, price expanded to the downside, mitigation already occurred, distribution. So this is like my last point of supply. Resting above an Asian range, and price is getting close to that area. So I'm willing to actually sell there as a day trader. I'm willing to actually sell there. So patience is the key. So you just have to wait. So of course, I have there in mind to actually sell. And once I sell, of course, I have my risk management in place, so I know where I want to target, right? And at the same time, I think this is also very cool. Could have a trend line here, trend line joining this and this. So which is actually around this area, which is just like more confluence for me. So let's see what price did. So we have price moving. I was just so very much interested in this sell. And I was waiting patiently for it, for the sell. All right, so let's see what price did. All right, so in all these areas, I was actually not seeing a very perfect reason for me to enter. I was just probably trading other peers, and of course, just waiting patiently for this. You can see my trend line perfectly confluence with the area that I was willing to sell. This is the most valid area for me to sell as a day trader, most valid area for me to sell. So waited patiently, and we had a perfect mitigation, right? Had a perfect mitigation right there, and we had a perfect mitigation, and price moved. And of course, as a day trader, definitely you want to take profit. This is already very nice profits, price mitigated. We had this is over like 207 pips before price retraced, and of course we are still going down. This is over like 300 pips. So definitely you would have taken lots and lots of profits, secured a lot of partials, and for us to keep moving. Mind you, generally GBP/JPY is actually bullish. Generally, it's actually bullish. It's just that price induced liquidity, and we are still trying to trade downward, and of course, you catch some trade upward, but we've not been able to catch any reasonable buys. All right, so let's see what price did again. Price kept coming. All right, so I think let me zoom so that I can see, try to spot opportunities as what as day traders. All right, so definitely we know that we are bearish on this level. Know that we are bearish. So okay, this is actually a very nice area. If price comes there, this is actually a London high. If price comes there, of course, I would definitely want to see if I can catch a sell. So let's see what the narrative that price created. Of course, price got there, and we had mitigation of that zone. So it's actually a nice place to want to risk a sell. That's if price doesn't take it out. But if price does, of course, that means just look for another zone. So this is a very nice area. But at the same time, we also have a nice base around here, just in case price comes to this area. This is also a very nice base before this move to the downside. So let's see if price will obey this. This is just a 136 pips target. Let's see. Let me go to 15 minutes, so this will be fast. All right, and price respected, but price took us out. So price took us out, and so of course, although as a day trader, you would probably have taken some profits right here because price did over 100 pips. Oh, with my trading plan, I would have definitely secured a lot of profits. Definitely secured a lot of profits before price eventually went against. So, but as a day trader, one would actually want to risk a sell there, especially as price has giving us one, two touch, the third touch, you want to take a sell and see what you can get from it. So I still have this zone in mind above here. So I think I will just allow price to try to move faster. So I have this zone above here, and let's see what price did. Okay. All right, so price started moving. All right, and we had this expansion to the downside. So this is pretty exciting. This is pretty exciting. So price mitigated supply, right? So we had the whole of this range before we had an expansion to the downside. Very nice, very nice. So the supply just before the expansion occurred, is this. So I'm interested in selling here once price gives me an entry. I'm interested in selling here. So this was the last supply before we had a massive momentum push to the downside after a mitigation of a very good supply order flow, right? Let me just extend my trend line because it might be useful in the future. So this is very nice. Mind you, I had two zones there where I was probably going to wait for a good reaction. Since I want to sell from here, I'll wait for a good reaction to see if I can actually buy. And let's see what price did. Of course, price tapped into this second zone nicely. I might not have taken this buy. Of course, this happened 2 p.m. exactly. So this is a New York mitigation, which is very nice. This is a New York mitigation, very nice. And this mitigated a London zone. So this is New York mitigation. I told you about New York mitigation. So price started buying. Of course, this looked like what's was just a sniper buy. So I'm very much interested in selling here. So let's see what price do when price gets there. Let me go down to my 15 minutes. I've marked my zone on the 1 hour. So of course, so let's just wait to see what price will do around that area so we can tag along the sell. And of course, once I can secure the sell, I'm definitely targeting this low. So let's see. Price played out, patience is the key. All right, so price mitigated that area nicely. It's a nice order block right here. And of course, price mitigated it during Asian session. So you might probably have been sleeping, except if you set, let's say, limits. But of course, waking up during London, I told you that we used to have London mitigation and London move. So this was the Asia, and oh, that was the London mitigation there. All right, so let me go to my 5 minutes. So of course, this is still long. This is the Asian session. So we might probably have been sleeping by then, right? Oh, let me reduce this zone. All right, so this is Asian session. So we most likely would have been sleeping. And of course, this is a very nice unmitigated base. Let me even check a more lower time frame to see. All right, so this base up here is very much unmitigated. And this is Asian session. So I want to wake up in the morning to meet my New York mitigation. The price did this and came down. All right, so this definitely will be my New York mitigation, right? This will definitely be my New York mitigation. So I have my zone set. It's already in the morning, and can have mitigation and London volume will push price down. So this is where I want to take my sell. This is where I want to take my sell. So let's see what happened there. It's already in the morning. So we'll have London mitigation, then London move. Definitely. So this is London mitigation, right? So any other, this happened when? This happened 7:03. So I told you that between 7 and 9 is London mitigation, and any other catch that you want to catch by then is just what? It's just retracement. Of course, target is quite far. This high created this low. So of course, price could trade to that low right there. Of course, this is 350 pips, of which you have your trading plan, and you want to take profit accordingly. So let me go to 15 minutes and let's see how price moved. Right. So this is 15 minutes. So price, of course, moved down to targets nicely, 350 pips. Very nice targets, 350 pips. Okay. So of course, this zone right here, let me go to 2 hours and reduce that zone back down. have it in your mind that generally we are still bullish for GBP JPY. So just trying to catch some sells and buys and sells and so on and so forth. So let's see if price will present any other narrative for us to actually take a trade. So this is 350 pips secured nicely, very nice, very nice. So fine, price mitigated it during Asian session, but of course we had our New York mitigation, and of course, our London mitigation, and our London volume moved the market to target. So let's see what price did again. All right, so price even traded lower. Price even traded lower. So let's see what price was to do. Again, let's see what price wants to do. This is a major low, right? This is a major low. Let's see what price wants to do and see if we are going to be giving any narrative. Okay, this is Asian session. So let me go to a more lower time frame to see if we can continue our trade. So we had price break this low, grab this break this low. So I want to see zone for a possible trade. So what was the last supply before this demand was taken out? Of course, price came from here, tapped into this demand, went up, then we had Asian high and price broke low. So, and I told you that liquidity validates zone. So this Asian high and this is just a zone preceding what, or just a zone line as liquidity before this supply, right? And of course, this supply is a supported base. This is a base, right? And this supply is a supported base, created liquidity for itself, an Asian high. And of course, I told you that Asian high and lows most times are what are liquidity. So we are still trending downward. I'm interested in what in taking a sell here. So of course, this is Asian range. The mitigation will most likely occur when I wake up during New York session. So I'm just waiting for it patiently, and let's see what price did. So it's morning already, right? Price induce Asian low, coming to induce Asian high to respect structure down. So if this was where price, if this was the move that took out Asian low, so once Asian high is grabbed and price mitigates my zone, definitely I want to take profit around here, which is 163 pips. So let's see what price did. So this was New York mitigation. Check the time. This is exactly 7:30. So between 7 to 9, you have New York mitigation. Any other entry after 9, like entries by 10, 11, 12, is continuation of what what London has started. This is London mitigation. If you check the time, this 7:25, of which I told you is between 7 to 9. That's London mitigation. Any other mitigation from 10, 11, 12 is the continuation of London move. So this is my target, right? And let's see. Price traded down and hit my target right there. Very nice move. All right. So this is how day trading works. Day trading works. From a high time frame, you start checking your trade. Now, price is back at this demand. If price can actually take out this low, I'll be very much interested in long-term sales. But if this low is actually obeyed, definitely price could form narrative that will come and clear all desire for us to continue the bullishness of GBP/JPY. So let's see what price did. So we can see taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. So let's see what happened the next day. Price is back here. So I want to see a very good reaction from here before I want to even think of any buy at all. So let's see what price did. Let me go to a little higher time frame for a swift movement, right? All right. So, of course, just in case price wants to use this zone, I'm interested. So let me just mark it down. All right. So let's see what price wants to do. Oh, price gave me a reaction from that zone, which I might actually want to sell. So let's see what price did there. All right, so price mitigated that zone there. And this was London high. This was around 10. This was London high. So as a day trader, I might want to just take a sell here and see what will happen. So this London high could actually be valid to sell price a little, but price is coming from a very good demand. So even this sell might just be a short sell for order flow. So let's see what price did. Price mitigated the area and of course took us out. So that was a -1. As a day trader, I would definitely want to take a trade there. So I just have to look for a higher zone. And the next zone on my mind is here. The reason being that that was actually the last supply that was the last supply that took out this demand. That was the last supply that took out this demand. So if price gives me a reason to sell there, definitely I actually want to sell because we have actually been selling and selling and selling and selling. So let's see what will happen there. So this is a -1 for us already. And all right, so price is there right now. So price mitigated that area. So let's see what price will want to do. I'd like to come to my lower time frame to see what price wants to do. So price mitigated there already. It mitigated there during Asia. So definitely if price is actually going to sell from there, I want to see reaction from or during New York. So I had this. This was very nice, very nice, very nice. Very nice. Let me go to my 15 minutes and see if I could see. All right, so this is a very nice area. This is a very nice zone for me to want to sell. So price mitigated my zone. This was the last supply before this nice reaction right here. So I want to see the narrative of price before I sell. Let's check more lower time frame to see if we can. Okay, so let's see what price wants to present for us right here. All right, so we had price traded lower. Okay, this is very nice. Price has taken out some major lows after mitigation of that area. So this was a very nice base, even though it occurred during Asia. This was a very nice base that is even storing liquidity just before it. So I might be interested in selling here. I might be interested in selling just above this liquidity area if price induced that liquidity. So let's see what price did there. Let's see what price did. So we had price. So price came back up there, right? I love this. So price, the major essence of this trade was a little tricky one. I think I took this trade and I'm going to show you my entry. So my major concern is price inducing this liquidity, tap into this supply, then move. But look at it, price induces liquidity during London, right? This is okay, this is London session. So this is liquidity before the supply. Price grabbed the liquidity, right? We were expecting price to actually tap into our supply, but price didn't, but it induced the liquidity. And of course, from this move up here, understanding structure, this is high, low, high, low, high, right? So a very sweet move for me to want to see is for price to actually induce this low. If price can induce this low, that means I'll be sure that price does not need to go back up here. Since we are now going to be in downtrend, price breaking this low means that structure has been broken to the downside. So definitely we shouldn't trade above this high. So I was anticipating that move, and let's see what happened. So price took out that low. Price took out that low. So this is a break of structure. And of course, coming down to my 1 minute, this is a very nice area. I want to take this trade. Very nice area. It's a very nice area. I want to take this trade because structure has been broken. So there was no need for price to go up here. And had our limit set. Had my limit set here. Stop loss was just low here, 9 pips stop loss. And of course, let's see if price mitigated. So this is a New York session high. Yeah, somewhere around New York, but this gives me perfect narrative. Price took out liquidity, broke structure. So this is the high I'm willing to sell from. So let's see what price did. Price mitigated the high perfectly well. So you can see the entry on my screen there. And my target was quite far. Let's go to a higher time frame so that I could show you my target. So after price mitigated this, of course, definitely structurally, so this low right here is my final target. This low right here is my final target. So I had this as a target. I had this as a target, just in case price wants to induce this low and tap from this week. So this is a target, and this is my final target right here. So let's see what price did. So this is a very perfect mitigation. This is New York mitigation. It happened around 1 p.m. Perfect New York mitigation. And of course, we expect New York volume to push price down. So any other move that we catch is a re-entry. So price quickly hits my first target, and price kept going. I held the trade. So I already know where I'm going with respect to higher time frame. Let me go to 15 minutes so that the movement can be fast. So, and price kept playing. Of course, until price hits my final target right there. Price is my final target of 226 pips. So you can check my screen. I held the trade all through. Very nice trade setup. Very nice trade setup. Of course, nice narrative and price. Price actually did move. So we started moving to the upside. So let's see what price presents for us again, and see if we, of course, price started showing us some very great intent. So we had here to be Asian low, and there is two bases, or there's a base below this Asian low that one might actually be interested in buying. We have a base right here, and also we also have one at the extreme here, just in case price wants to induce this low and tap into this base and move. But this two base seems very valid in case price wants to buy, because we might need to buy to a higher POI before we now eventually sell. So I had these two areas in my mind for me to buy. So let's see what price did. Okay, let me go to my 15 minutes. I love price to move very fast. So, and of course, price didn't give me an entry that I need. And so another zone that I was looking out for, for selling was here. And price mitigated it nicely. price mitigated it during London. Of course, price mitigated it during London, and I was hoping to find a re-entry for it to just catch some pips, even though I know I'm still very bullish. So price, I waited for price to give me some narrative, and this was just perfect. You can see order flow. You can see order flow with respect to structure. If you remember, this high, low, low, high. So this high right here is the last supply with respect to structure that could drive price to the downside, right? So, and I'm willing to, as a day trader, I'm willing to take a sell from there. And if price doesn't obey, maybe I would look for a higher POI, maybe this base right here. But this is the nearest base that took out that low. So let's see if we can grab some, like let's maybe 100 pips from there, or maybe 90 pips, somewhere around here. I love this base. I love this base. This base looks nice. So let's see. So it was a very nice area for me to actually take a sell, and I think the sell happened, and price got to my target. The sell happened. Very nice. This was 80 something pips. Very nice sell. Let me go back to my higher time frame and see if we could actually see a trade higher. But let's see. Price did so well, and price started moving up. Okay, so price started moving up. I had this area marked, of which I was looking forward to taking a sell around here, right? So of course, let's see what price did. In all this movement around there, I couldn't get a very neat entry, even on the lower time frame. I couldn't get a very neat entry. So price approaching supply. Let's see if price will give us a very good intent for us to actually sell. So price mitigated supply. Price mitigated supply, right? So I had a very nice zone, but I might just be interested in what is selling. But at the same time, price is coming from a very good demand, So it's a very nice supply that I had. After price mitigated this, we had this range before price moved to the downside. So I wanted to see what price would do. What price will do, okay? So I needed to see the narrative that price wants to build toward that supply to see if we should actually buy or sell. So this is my Asian range, and so after Asian range, this was a perfect mitigation. This would have been a very perfect mitigation. But of course, with respect to the YA trade, I would have probably been waiting for price to maybe come and induce this low and maybe use this previous London base to buy. But of course, price didn't do that, right? Instead, price bought from a perfect. So it's not all the trades that you catch. Now price got to this supply, right? And so from what I can see, price was pretty much obeying order flow. Price was pretty much obeying order flow. But if you come to a more lower time frame, you discover that as price is obeying supply order flow, it is simultaneously obeying demand order flow. It was simultaneously obeying demand order flow as well, right? It was obeying demand order flow, isn't it? So we can see supply, order flow, demand order flow is being maintained. So what we do in this kind of a case is to actually wait and see where price wants to break out to. So once price breaks out to a particular area, then we want to wait for retracement for us to now, so let's see what happened. Okay, price broke up. Price has cleared all the demand order flow. So I think the main buyers now should now be buy. Main buyer should be buy. So of course, this is going to be a liquidity point for me. So I want to use this base down here. Let's just say the whole of this area is liquidity. This is just 12 pips. It's just 12 pips. So price will definitely want to grab its final liquidity before moving. So of course, we want to target higher. And let's see. Price came for a mitigation. So price mitigated nicely. And let's move to a little higher time frame. So that was a very nice mitigation. And of course, I want to just take profit around this side, which is 84 pips. And still going. Let me go to my 15 minutes and see what or how fast it's going to be. And of course, price hits my target right there. And this is where price is currently. So very nice, very nice. I want to believe that this video has done justice to your thought process in approaching market daily. Of course, do not forget what I showed you initially about things you should watch out for: your structure, your liquidity, Asian lows and highs, and London mitigation and London volume, and so on and so forth. So with all this in your head, understanding general structure, definitely daily, you should see at least 1 or 2 trades to catch, or if you analyze a particular pair and follow it through for a long time, you will be a very good day trader, and you catch as much pips as possible. All right, so if this is your first time on my channel, ensure that you subscribe and turn on the notification. Also ensure that you comment on this video, share it, and good trading. Bye.